Alright, question 16 is number pattern. So Howard used gray and white squares to make figures that form a pattern. Okay, so this is figure 1, figure 2, and figure 3. Okay, so figure 1, right, there are like 1, 2, 3 gray square as you go from figure 1 to figure 3. Okay, then if you go to figure 4, guys, first of all you have to look at the patterns, you see. So the next one is like, from this figure 1 to figure 2, we just need to add one more layer to the bottom. Am I right? Okay, so of course if I were to draw figure 4, right, it's just adding one more. So that will be just there are how many layers? 1, 2, 3. So figure 4 will have 4 layers at the bottom. Okay, and of course figure 4 will have how many gray square? 4. Okay, so there is a pattern. If you see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This number of gray square, it also goes from 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means it plus 1, plus 1, plus 1 every increment of figure number. Okay, next, if you look at the number of white squares, right? Number of white squares, can you see that it's from 3 to 5 to 7. So it's always plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Okay, and if you find the number of squares, right? Number of squares, it will be, is it 4, 7, 10. So there is a pattern. It's always plus 3, plus 3. So the next one, of course, is also plus 3. Okay, so it will be 13. Okay, so next, if we were to look at B, right, find the total number of squares in figure 11. Okay, so what we can do is that, guys, it's always plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, right? So a method that is very time consuming, but it will be guaranteed that you get the correct answer, is that you just keep adding. So figure 5 will be plus 3, will be 16. Then figure 6 will be 16 plus 3, 19. And you keep adding until figure 11. Okay, but I'm going to teach you a shortcut. If you look at this pattern, right, can you see that the first figure, it is 4. Then every subsequent figure, you plus 3. Okay, so if you are looking at figure 11, right? Okay, if you are looking at figure 11, that means it will be 4. Then after that, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So there will be altogether 11 figures. So guys, the first one is not 3. So what we need to do is that out of these 11 numbers, right, I will take 11 minus 1 equals to 10. So that means there will only be 10 numbers of 3 because the first number is 4. You get it, right? So what I will do is that the total sum of this 11 figures, right, it will be just 10 times 3, 30. Okay, then you must plus back the first figure. The first one has 4, right? So it will be 30 plus 4. So the answer is 34. Okay? So if you look at C, right? Guys, a figure number has altogether 52 squares. So how many white squares were there in this figure number? Okay, guys, white squares will be how many? White squares, can you see that it's actually to get these white squares, right? If I have the total and the gray, right, it's just the total number of squares minus of the gray squares. Okay, so can you see that I have the total number of squares 52, but can I get the gray square? Okay, to get the gray square, guys, basically I need to find the figure number, because this the figure number is the same as the gray square. So what we can do is this. Okay, can you see that for the total number of squares, right, it is actually 4, like what I did here. 4, then plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So altogether, I will get 52, right? So how many times did I plus 3 here? Okay, let me just check. So I take 52 minus 4, I have 48. 48 divided by 3, I have 16. So there are 16 3's here, then plus this 4, because 4 is also add 1 to the figure number. So the figure number, it should be 16 plus 1 equals to 17. Okay, so if figure number is 17, right, it means that they are all together, number of gray squares will be also 17. Okay, because if you look at the table, right, the figure number and the number of gray square is the same. So if I want to find the white squares, right, okay, I just need to take the total, which is 52 minus 17. That will give me 35. Okay, so that's the answer.